Have you ever felt so broken that you just turned your back on everything you once believed in? I have. My world shattered the day I lost my baby. The pain was a physical thing, a constant weight in my chest. I looked at the crosses on my walls, the symbols that were supposed to bring comfort, and all I felt was emptiness. So, I took them down. I packed away my faith, piece by piece, locking it in a box I never planned to open again. God felt like a stranger, or worse, someone who had abandoned me. For months, I drifted through life in a gray haze. The vibrant colors of the world seemed muted, and joy felt like a distant memory. I was just going through the motions. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. My heart was a barren wasteland, and I was convinced nothing would ever grow there again. Faith. It was a word that left a bitter taste in my mouth. I couldn't understand how people could cling to something so invisible when my own tangible loss was so overwhelming. Then one day, something shifted. I was in the grocery store, probably staring blankly at a wall of cereal boxes, when a woman approached me. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her face etched with a sorrow I recognized instantly. It was the look of a mother who was grieving. She asked me a simple question, but it hit me like a lightning bolt. She asked if I knew where the nearest church was. Her own child was sick, and she was desperate for a place to pray. In that moment, seeing my own pain reflected in her eyes, I couldn't turn her away. All my anger at God, all my carefully constructed walls, they just crumbled. I told her I'd go with her. I don't know why I said it. Maybe it was a flicker of the person I used to be. We went to the church, the one I had sworn I'd never step foot in again. I sat in the back pew, watching this stranger pour her heart out. Hesitantly, my own lips started to move. The words were rusty, unfamiliar, but they were there. I prayed. I prayed for her child, for her, and for the first time in a long, long time, I prayed for myself. I didn't ask for answers. I just talked. I let out all the anger, the hurt, the confusion that had been poisoning me from the inside out. It wasn't a magical fix. The pain of my loss didn't just vanish. But something else happened. A tiny seed of peace began to sprout in the wasteland of my heart. A few weeks later, I ran into her again. She rushed over, a radiant smile on her face, and told me her child was getting better, recovering in a way the doctors hadn't expected. She called it a miracle. Hearing that, I felt a warmth spread through me, a feeling I hadn't experienced since before my tragedy. It wasn't about a grand, dramatic sign from the heavens. It was about connection. It was about seeing faith in action through someone else's hope. That encounter was my turning point. I went home and unpacked that box. I hung the crosses back on my walls, not as empty symbols, but as reminders of a journey. A journey through the darkest valley imaginable and out into a glimmer of light. My grief is still a part of my story, it always will be, but it no longer defines me. My faith didn't come back because my problems disappeared. It came back when I chose to open my heart again, even just a crack, to let a little bit of light in. I found my way back to God not by forgetting my pain, but by walking through it with a renewed sense of hope. If you're in a dark place right now, feeling lost or abandoned, please know you're not alone. Sometimes, hope finds us in the most unexpected places, in the aisles of a grocery store, in the quiet desperation of a stranger, or in the silent whisper of a prayer you thought you'd forgotten how to say. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more stories of hope and healing.